Have you ever heard something like, this world is an illusion, and your brain just short circuits? Yeah, same here. But what if I told you that understanding that one sentence, really feeling it, could bring you the deepest peace that you have ever known? In today's video, I am sharing my personal journey with A Course in Miracles, how I stumbled across it during one of the hardest chapters of my life, why I hated it at first, and how it ended up becoming one of the most grounding spiritual practices that I have ever returned to. So if you have ever felt disconnected from God or source or just something bigger than you and struggled with what is real versus what is not, or just wanted something to make sense of, this video is for you. And I'll also be sharing how this spiritual textbook finally clicked after 15 years and how it helped me regulate my nervous system, find peace, and actually feel connected again. So if you are spiritually curious, confused, or craving clarity, stick around. I promise this will land. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Nina Elise, and I'm an embodiment and growth mentor and a somatic practitioner. And I teach you how to view the world differently by understanding how your brain, your body, and your emotions work. So if you are on a personal growth journey, trying to figure out what's real, how to regulate your emotions, and how to live a more peaceful, aligned life, hit subscribe. I share videos just like this every week to help you come back home to yourself. Now, let's get back into it. A Course in Miracles. Have you ever heard of this book? A Course in Miracles was written by a woman named Helen Schucman, a psychologist at Columbia University. She claimed to hear a voice which identified itself as Jesus over a 7-year period. She scribed what she heard, and her colleague, William Thetford, helped compile and edit the material. So it is broken into 3 parts. You have the text, which is similar to the Bible in the sense that it's very thick. There's a lot of words there to read. The workbook for students, which is 365 lessons that you can do once every single day for an entire year. And then in the back, there is the manual for teachers. And honestly, it is not light reading. It was literally designed for skeptical, intellectual people who don't easily buy into the woo, which is maybe why I felt so drawn to it at first, but also super confused. And in this video today, I'm going to be sharing my journey with A Course in Miracles and the profound impact that this amazing book has had on my life. And maybe it will help a fellow seeker like you too. So flashback to post-college. My parents were going through a divorce. I had a falling out with God, and my life felt like it was completely falling apart. I had zero sense of identity. My body image was terrible, and I had major control issues. I was questioning literally everything in my life. And I was searching for something, basically anything, that could explain what I was going through. And I didn't want surface level advice. I wanted something much deeper. And of course, the universe delivered through a Reddit thread. So someone mentioned A Course in Miracles as a spiritual book that changed their life. And I was really intrigued because people described it like the Bible, but more of like a spiritual framework that isn't about religion, but about truth and love. And that was something that I was curious and could possibly get behind. So I ordered it, and when it arrived, my first thought was, nope. I opened the box, looked at the paper thin pages, and saw things like, the world is an illusion and only love is real. And I was like, what in the actual F does that mean? And it made no sense. So basically, I took that book, put it in a box, and I forgot about it for probably about 2 years. And eventually, when I moved, I pulled it back out after I ended a 4-year relationship and was yet again searching for meaning, purpose, and answers in my life. And this time I was like, okay, there might be something here. So I found an official meeting group through the Course in Miracles website, and there's actually study groups all over the world. And there happened to be one in Ohio where I lived at the time. So I started going once or twice a month, and everyone there was easily 2 or 3 times my age because most had been studying the course for 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years. So it was incredibly helpful for me to go there and learn from all of those people. And we sat around every single meeting and read parts of the book and others in the group would provide their perspective, answer questions, and just simply contemplate. And I basically just listened a lot and asked questions every once in a while. And I think at that stage in my life, I don't think I was really ready to fully get it yet, but I could feel that this book was trying to point me to something bigger and more real. Then life happened. I started dating someone again. I got busy. I fell out of the practice and I didn't pick it up again for probably about 7 years. But when something is meant for you, it always circles back. In my 30s, someone introduced me to A Course in Love, which is kind of like a continuation of A Course in Miracles. I think it's also channeled from the same energy, Jesus, higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And this book was so much easier to read. I remember feeling so light after reading it. Like something in my soul just exhaled, and it really helped me see the world much more clearly. Then I went traveling and I set that down too, and eventually entered one of the darkest periods of my life. I went through a total spiritual awakening with several identity deaths, and experienced what I would probably call existential depression. During that time period, I reached for everything I could to understand myself and my life. I studied manifestation, law of assumption, subconscious work, neuroscience, gene keys, human design. I did plant medicine. You name it, I did it or learned about it. And suddenly I felt like I didn't know what to believe anymore. Everything just felt empty and I couldn't ground into anything. So I picked up A Course in Miracles again, and this time it felt completely different. After years of doing inner work and seeking, A Course in Miracles finally made sense. The language wasn't confusing anymore, and I actually understood it. It was basically talking about consciousness, about the illusions of this world, and I had felt that through going through all of my plant medicine ceremonies and experiences. I had studied it through Neville Goddard. I had seen it in different teachings. But after going through all of that, A Course in Miracles actually simplified it. It brought me back to God, but not a God outside of me, a God within me that I was connected to, a part of me and the truth of me. And what I've really taken away from studying this book for the past 15 plus years is this: everything you experience is a projection of your inner world, which is actually something you can learn through many other practices, but A Course in Miracles is just another medium to learn and understand this. But basically, we are not reacting to reality. We are reacting to our perception of reality. And our perception is shaped by our beliefs, our trauma, our conditioning. It is all an illusion. A Course in Miracles says nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. It teaches you to come back to the only truth, which is love. And through the daily workbook lessons, you literally retrain your mind to perceive the world differently. Some days it's just one sentence, but through repetition, sometimes every 30 minutes or on the hour, you are rewiring your perception with this new belief. It is literally how the nervous system works and how basic neuroscience works. It's how subconscious reprogramming works. And A Course in Miracles was teaching this decades before neuroscience even caught up. I am currently on lesson 130 something, and it has changed the way that I regulate my nervous system. It has changed how I respond to life. And when things get really chaotic, I always come back to, I am as God created me. I could see peace instead of this. There's nothing to fear. And it just reminds me that I am not separate from the light or God or source, that this world isn't happening to me, that I am safe, that I'm held, and I'm part of something completely divine, not separate from it. And it has been incredibly healing for me and taught me a deeper understanding of forgiveness for others and for myself, to be at peace with my past and to be with my triggers without fear. In fact, one of my all-time favorite lessons so far is lesson 68. Love holds no grievances. It just completely cracked my heart wide open. So whenever I think about someone or something that I feel sadness or anger around, I'm actually able to just sit with this thought, which softens me to let go of any tight grip I may have towards that person or situation. It's helped me pause and be more patient because I know I can just hand off these old perceptions that aren't even real to God or a higher power, knowing that I don't have to carry them anymore, because it's all an illusion anyways. And I actually got a tattoo on my arm in my 20s as a reminder to forgive the illusion and not take life so seriously. And as a bonus, if you are into the law of assumption or manifestation, the daily practices are amazing for helping calm old thoughts and emotions through repetition and stillness, and ultimately not putting your attention or feelings on things you don't like, and shifting them to a place of peace and gratitude. And honestly, that is everything. To feel peace, to not want, and to know that love truly is the only thing that exists. If this is resonating, go ahead and hit subscribe, because I share more of these lived experiences around consciousness, nervous system healing, and spiritual growth. So this is where I'm at right now in my journey with A Course in Miracles. It is something that I have studied off and on for well over 15 years, and it keeps evolving with me, because every time I come back to it, I am different. My beliefs are different. My consciousness has expanded. And that is the beauty of this work. It meets you where you are, and it always, always leads you back to love. So I want to know, have you studied A Course in Miracles? What was your experience like? And did it make sense right away, or did it take time like it did for me? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I would genuinely love to hear. And if you want to explore more of my lived experiences with esoteric teachings, plant medicine, spiritual texts, and consciousness, and so much more, check out the playlist right here. And don't forget to like, share this with a friend who's also on their journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you all.